Have you ever sat down to declutter and just froze? You don't know why, you're getting rid of stuff, you're starting to make some progress, and then you realize, hey, can I really get rid of this stuff? And you start to question yourself. I have been there a million times, and that's why I'm thrilled that I am starting a 10-week series where I'm going to show you how to declutter, organize, and finally live a more minimalist life, all within 10 weeks. So if you're ready to join on this journey, today's video is going to dive into some research on why we get stuck and how we can get unstuck, and some of the big red flags that are stopping us from living a clutter-free life. So one of the big things as we're sitting with our mound of things that we're trying to decide whether we're really ready to get rid of something or not, is we get stuck because we start thinking all of these questions, right? We start thinking, what if I regret making this decision? What if in a couple of weeks it was the wrong decision and I can't get it back? It's gone. So this feeling, this overwhelm we start to feel as we declutter would get me every time and would stop me on my journey of decluttering. And that's probably why it took me so long to get where I am today. Now, if you've ever sat in front of the fridge and thought to yourself, I just don't know what I want to make for dinner, there's too many choices. That's one of the big research-based ideas on why we get decision fatigue. We just have too many things coming in and at us at the same time, and our brain just frizzes out and gets overwhelmed. There was a study done in 2000 that studied people and gave them multiple choices of jams. And the research found that people who had less choices were able to make a faster choice, and they were happier with their choice than the people that had 24 different options of jam. And I know that I can completely relate to this, and probably you can too. When we walk into our closet or we walk into our kitchen and we just see all of these options, it can be extremely overwhelming to us. Even though when we first bought these items, we did it because we thought it would make our life easier. We thought that we were going to have all the possible options, and so that at the end, when we're picking out that outfit, we're going to be able to make an easy choice. The opposite is true, and it's completely research-based why we struggle. So one of the big things that can help us as we pick up an item and we think about that natural question we ask ourselves, right? Should I keep this item? That's a really difficult question when you're somebody like myself who gets stuck. So instead of asking, should I keep this item? Will I need this item? I want you to think about, would I buy this item again? And the crazy thing is this, when I ask myself, would I buy this again? Would I buy this full price again? Often the answer is easier for me to know and understand. Yes, I absolutely love this sweater. I replaced an old sweater of mine with this new pink one. It's very soft and I like it a lot. So yes, I would buy it full price and I would buy it again. It was a good choice. But as we start to go through maybe some of our other clothes, maybe the things in our kitchens, instead of asking, do I need this? Instead of asking, will I need this in 6 months? Start thinking about, would I buy it again in the store today? Would I really want it all over again? And would I want it for full price? If the answer is an immediate yes, then most likely you're either on the fence or you know that the answer in your gut would be a no. So as the queen of indecision, I can definitely tell you that this idea of fatigue is real. And another thing that really helped me along this whole journey of the 6 years of decluttering was not having to say yes or no in the exact moment. And I know we all hear the advice, just say yes or no, make the decision, and that is good advice. But if you can't, if you are continually getting stuck so you don't declutter or you dread it, then do this instead. Have a yes, a no, and a maybe bin. Saved my life. Honestly, saved my life, saved my sanity, which is even more important, I guess, because the maybe bin allowed me the flexibility for my brain not to spaz out like it liked to do when I came up to an item and I just didn't have the correct immediate decision of yes or no. A maybe bin can allow you that flexibility in order to learn more about yourself. I think that's something that often we forget that we need to do as we are decluttering, is that most likely if you are living in a very cluttered home, like I was for most of my adult life, you don't know why you bought things. You don't know why you need these things. You probably don't even know when you bought this item. And so therefore, making that quick decision sometimes can feel very overwhelming, but it doesn't need to. You don't need to stress yourself out. Just have a maybe bin. What I used to do all the time, and I still do to this day, is put those things in a bag, find a location where you are not going to look at them for a little while, and just put it on your calendar, have a date in mind where you're going to get rid of them. Simple as that. Stop stressing yourself out about it. You don't deserve to be treated like that. So that's definitely going to help you speed up your decluttering, your choice making, and that's what's really important. This doesn't need to be an all-day thing. The next thing that really helped me with the whole decision fatigue thing, getting stuck, was batching your decisions. So pick a day on your calendar this week and say, I am going to attack my pantry today. I am going to get rid of all of the old food today. I am going to get rid of all of the utensils that don't match or the lids to the Pyrex that have no bottoms. I'm going to get rid of them on this day, and I'm going to batch all of my kitchen decisions on this day. There was a study done in 2008, so it is research-based, that says batching your decisions helps you to preserve energy. And if there's anything I know about myself, and maybe you as well, is that we don't want to waste energy if we don't have to. We do not want to make decluttering hard. We don't want to make organizing feel overwhelming. And so therefore, what do we need to do, friends? We have to batch these decisions. If you are ready to declutter your shirt drawer, then say, okay, today at 5:30, after I get off of work, I'm going to go into my shirt drawer and I'm going to take out anything that I don't immediately wear on a daily basis. You can create your yes, no, and your maybe bin, but I'm going to batch all of those decisions. Why is that a hard word? I don't know. Decisions in this one day, and then I'm going to move on. Batching our decisions is incredibly useful for us in preserving our energy, incredibly useful for us in not feeling that fatigue, that overwhelm as we're decluttering. The next big reason why you might hate decluttering is that you have a loss aversion, which is all too real and true. Loss aversion basically means that our brains are wired not to lose things, to panic. And if you've ever looked for your keys and not found them, then you know what it feels like to have loss aversion, to panic over not having something that you are looking for. And there's a lot of research based on why loss aversion is so powerful, because they actually found losing something is more powerful to our brains than getting something new. So as we're decluttering, let's remember, give ourselves some grace, because loss aversion is real. And the feeling that we are getting rid of something that we could possibly need is something that our brain is wired not to do. And that's why it hurts and feels weird. But we can overcome that, and we can live a much simpler life and get past the loss aversion by doing several different things. And one of the big ones that I used all too often was to remember what I was gaining. Every time I decluttered a drawer, every time I batched that idea and decluttered my clothes, I realized that at the end of it, it was easier for me to get dressed. It was easier for me to make dinner. It was more fun for me to play games with my family at the table because I had less stuff and it was easier to find. That powerful feeling of being able to know where your things are and be able to find them when you need them is something that can help you overcome that feeling of losing out on something. Because you can remember, by losing these things, I am gaining so much more, gaining freedom. I am gaining my sanity back. I am gaining my home back. I'm gaining my independence back, my time back, my energy back. If I get rid of these things that I'm not really using in the first place, I'm not losing out, I am gaining. So use that idea again of having a yes, no, and a maybe bin. A maybe bin if you just can't get past that feeling of loss yet. Because what I have found as somebody, I do have ADHD, I have a hard time remembering the last time I used something. I was a shopaholic for my adult life, my entire adult life. And that led to me overspending and filling my closets and being very overwhelmed, but I didn't know how to stop it until I realized that decluttering didn't have to be an all day, a one thing, and I didn't have to make all the decisions right then. I could have that maybe bin, that backup. And what that really taught my brain was that when I had this feeling of loss aversion, I'm missing out on something, I'm not gonna have something when I really need it, I realized that all those things I had put in the maybe bin, I never went back for them. I never even remembered I had them. And honestly, friends, I can tell you that to this day, I don't have anything that I can immediately think of that I'm so sad I got rid of. And I've gotten rid of probably over I don't know, 80% of the things that I used to have. We actually downsized. So I'm going to do a whole tour of my new house now. We downsized 400 square feet to a smaller house at the age of 36. And that was only possible because I encouraged myself to embrace the loss in order to know that I am gaining more sanity, more energy, and more ability to do what I really want. So use the maybe bin, take a picture of it, write down the story. If it's something sentimental, then ask family members if they want it. Giving it away to somebody that you know has always made me feel a lot better, knowing that that sentimental item is being lived and enjoyed by somebody else who can really appreciate it when I just couldn't. Knowing that I just went to IKEA the other day, this one is so funny and all too real for me, and it's called the IKEA effect. So let me know in the comments below if you've heard of the IKEA effect before and if it's something that you also struggle with. But the IKEA effect basically says that the things that we have made, like crafts, or for my husband, his pieces of furniture, things that we have put together with our own bare hands, things that we have spent time on, or even if you write on a specific desk or you use your favorite notebook, these things we have spent our time, energy, and love on or with, and they are much harder to declutter, whether we need them or we don't. It becomes a huge struggle for us to let them go. And why is that? So if you've ever made a piece of IKEA furniture, then you probably know the struggle that you have to go through in order to follow those very easy looking directions, which often aren't. And we have several pieces of IKEA furniture here, and I can honestly say that it's very true. We have put so much time and energy into putting these things together, and so therefore, even when we don't need these pieces of furniture, it's harder to get rid of them because we remember all the effort it took to put it together. So if you are somebody who is struggling with the IKEA effect and you are struggling getting rid of those pieces of furniture, those journals that you've spent a lot of time on, you've spent a lot of effort with them, I want you to think about what they could possibly do for you right now. How are they helping you in your daily life at this moment? Are they something that you enjoy cleaning? Do you enjoy taking care of them? Do you enjoy looking at them on a daily basis? It brings you a level of happiness. If that's true, then you should know that it's okay to hang on to them. But if it's something that I feel like probably a few of us have, and maybe it's something that we've made with our hands or we used as a kid and enjoyed it, then it's probably one of those things that you're stuffing into the back of the closet or you keep putting it up in the attic and not using it, not enjoying it, not really loving it. Those are our IKEA effect pieces. Those are those pieces in our life that are harder to get rid of because we remember the memories. And it goes back to thinking about, why am I not able to make this decision? Why is this so hard for me? Why am I being averse to making a choice? And understanding your brain helped me so much more to acknowledge when I was going through these times. Now, it didn't always mean that I got rid of them, but it did allow me to better understand what certain things are harder for myself and my husband and my daughter to get rid of because we are putting the IKEA effect on it. And that's when it goes back to deciding whether you can take a picture of it and let it go. Deciding whether you can find someone else who might enjoy it and let it go. But I don't want you to fall into the pitfall that I did very often in the beginning of thinking that these items, I'd have to sell them because I'd want to make back what I thought they were worth. And that is going to stop you on your decluttering journey, friends, so often if you do that. It's not that I don't think that your items are worth money. It's not that they aren't worth anything. It's just that often when we have the IKEA effect, we're putting a higher value on our items than other people might. And so If you do want to sell these items and you're finally ready to let them go, then check online, check on Facebook Marketplace, go on eBay and see what people are actually selling them for. What are the ones that are actually coming off the market and being sold? And that will give you a better understanding of the real price that other people are willing to pay for your item as opposed to what you might feel that they're really worth. So start small, ask important questions like, would I buy this again if it was in the store? Would I buy it for full price if it was in the store? Think about what you're actually gaining by decluttering these items, not what you're losing. That will help you get past that decision fatigue, that aversion, and the IKEA effect that so often we can all have. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and put a little heart down below if you're following along the 10-week series of all the decluttering information that I could possibly divulge to you guys. And we're going to be working together over the next 10 weeks. And so if you've enjoyed this one, make sure you check out one of these right here and continue your journey. I wish you guys all the very best.